Hey, what's going on, YouTube? How are ya? Hiker Dave, Annie, Bigfoot here. I wanted to do this video about, it bothers me a lot, and it was something, I was kind of watching some Bigfoot videos, and I'm scrolling down YouTube, looking at these different clips. Now, the mainstream media, and I'm going to try to stay away from this topic. It's very difficult for me. I'm not even going to give my opinion on it. But if you can control the masses, right, to something you want them to believe, it's really simple to do it. And I want to show you some clips of news outlets when the second the word Bigfoot comes out of their mouth, the expressions on their face, how they smile and smirk and giggle and laugh. And you know, it's funny, it makes me think of like in school, right? I was brought up as a kid in school believing 100% that Christopher Columbus discovered America. The reason being is because much more learned people than myself, book smart people, were teaching me as a child that Christopher Columbus discovered America. And when we all know now that that is a crock, that's just malarkey, right? Leif Erikson was on North American soil 500 years prior with him and his goon squad of Vikings when they come over. Actually, Leif Erikson had a Bigfoot sighting from what? But who believes that, right? And before that, the Native Americans were already here. So, but to be taught, I really do believe, I think my children still today in school are taught that Christopher Columbus discovered America. So when people watch news feeds on TV and stuff like that, they believe what they're seeing and what they're being told. They're being misled to believe that what this person on the newscast is telling you is true. Why would they lie, right? Then the news wouldn't lie to us, right? So it's funny to watch. Anytime you see like on a news feed when they talk about Sasquatch, it's at the end of the news feed. It's a filler. Right? And I'm going to show you a couple clips as an example here. Watch how these newscasters try to keep from laughing. And some of the just a tomfoolery that goes on. So check these out.
About Bigfoot, it turns out, is real. According to one group of researchers, they say that they may have DNA to prove it. Look at these pictures. You can see for yourself, obviously. That is Sasquatch, and it is real. We told you first last week about these folks at the Sasquatch Genome Project. They presented these photos in Texas, and they claim to have tissue samples, DNA, blood, hair, video evidence of what they say is a female Bigfoot human hybrid creature. They say they found it in the backwoods of Kentucky. Joining us now is Dr. Melba Ketchum, a genetic scientist.
A question for you, Mike. Is Bigfoot hiding out in Round Rock? Well, it sounds a little silly, but new evidence has some people on the lookout.
Really? The Night Beats Brandon Jones went out to Brushy Creek Trail to investigate.
Sasquatch sighting. 22 Storm Team meteorologist Jennifer Paye is live at the X in Springfield. Hopefully he won't bother her. Since the snow started this morning at about 6:15 to 6:30, it has not let up at all. It is coming down pretty steadily here in Springfield. You can see that the visibility has been reduced. I've seen countless spin-outs, and
this Bigfoot costume fool you. Jonathan Doyle and his attorney weren't monkeying around.
Justice will prevail.
At their appeal hearing Thursday morning at the state Supreme Courthouse.
This is classic First Amendment activity.
The issue at hand, a required permitting fee, waiting period, and insurance bond needed to film at Mount Monadnock, where Doyle tried making a movie about the famed Bigfoot back in 2009.
Not only did Mr. Doyle not ever apply for a special use permit, he never asked about what the requirements were. He never went to go get an insurance quote. He never asked for a waiver of any of the requirements.
It's a hobby for Doyle, who's made similar movies before on the mountain, saying he never had to pay any fees. And it wasn't until a local newspaper wrote about his upcoming film shoot, Doyle's attorney argues the state took notice.
I was naive to rules and regulations of the mountain and didn't really think that just never had a thought that I would need to do that.
These types of regulations are not inconsistent with civil liberties, but rather they're one of the means of safeguard.
It's a hairy situation the state Supreme Court is now working to iron out.
I mean, if Lady Gaga wants to put a concert on up there that's free, doesn't she have to get a permit?
I would say Lady Gaga does because...
But what's the difference? She's an artist. She's protected by the First Amendment, just like your client is.
And with no judgment expected for weeks, it's clear there are still plenty of questions.
Sightings of Bigfoot in Mayo. He joins us now live. And Mike, have you had any luck?
Well, Carmen, we are way back in the woods, north of Mayo and Oscoda County, along the south bank of the Osable River. This is a cross-country ski trail. And Friday night, 2 teenagers were hiking here when they saw something they'll never forget. Now, we promised we would not reveal exactly where this is because investigators still want to come here and check for evidence and not have to worry about it.
Bigfoot is resurfacing in a western North Carolina town. A man in Cleveland County says he saw the mythic beast just last week.
And as Ann Sheridan reports, this isn't the first time a sighting's been reported here.
I tried to call him.
Tim Peeler thought he was calling coyotes.
Instead of him.
Bigfoot, the hulking, hairy creature who haunts the woods, the stuff of legend, right? Wrong. The Sasquatch has been found dead.
Yep. Take a look at this. The Sasquatch on ice. In the icebox. Hold on. Wait for it. It's coming. That's according to one California man. Tom Biscardi, known as the Bigfoot hunter, claiming, look at this. Here it is. That he has found the body that will confirm with scientific proof that Bigfoot does exist. And Tom joins me now. Hiya, Tom.
Good morning.
All right, so this is an unbelievable picture here. In more ways than one, some would argue. You know you're going to get some guff for this. What is this thing? Where'd you find it?
Okay. Just got back from Georgia. Full force. No one knows that better than the people who are sure they've seen Bigfoot. And in Colorado.
In this week's Storytellers Report, 9 News reporter Colleen Ferreira and photojournalist Matt McKella talked to people who say they are sure of what they saw.
Rick, you mentioned earlier that you were involved in some type of investigation with Bigfoot in 2008. Now, in regards to that, there were claims that Bigfoot had been found in 2008. Now, that ended up being a hoax, and you were linked to this incident. Why should we believe you this time?
Absolutely. 2008 did end up as a hoax, but it...
Do you see what I'm saying? That I've got an issue with. You know, it's comical. It's satire. These newscasters that bring it up, they definitely take it as it's a joke, and it's funny to them. It's hilarious, and I believe too that they don't know any better. The people that are telling that are these anchors or whatever that are at their desk in the news station or whatever, or they're out on location, right? They probably pull straws, right? And the short straw has to do that story on Sasquatch. And they probably really legitimately, they think it's a joke. But when you repetitively push that narrative that Sasquatch is fake, it's a joke, look at these crazy people. They got the one redneck yokel, and pardon me, I'm not trying to insult anybody. You've got this one guy. They've got him out in the middle of wherever the heck he is, right? And he's making calls with this jug, right? And they couldn't have picked a worse person to represent what the story is supposed to be about. It's meant to be a joke. It's made to be a joke, and it's made to push that narrative out into the public eye that it's a ridiculous concept. They very rarely, I'll say, I almost said never, but they will very rarely put on a legitimate researcher or someone with any, and I'd like to see them put on Dr. Jeff Meldrum on one of these newscasts to maybe give some credibility to the subject. And I'm not saying that the guy out there with the big dude out in the middle of nowhere with the jug calling coyotes didn't see a Sasquatch. That's not my point. But, you know, they sure as heck made sure that they got somebody to, you know, to look not credible, right? I don't know. I don't even know what a credible, eyewitness looks like, so I shouldn't say that. But you know, they definitely will make an effort to make it as ridiculous as possible. Just putting it out there, guys. I hope you found that interesting. I could have made this video an hour long with just 2 to 3 minute clips of news reporters making a complete mockery out of the subject of Sasquatch. Thank you for coming by, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I'll definitely see you on the next one.